nhớ rong chụp hình sợi rong xé tại tận sợi tôi đã kết thúc bên nó mà vậy nó rong cái đồ đi cũng mấy thứ có chữ sang hàng và vậy nó cho nên tôi phải thằng nó nó thằng này ba nó sai ta nó biết tôi sai Akira lý thia nhớ rong
Thank you. Nhớ rong.
Okay, nhớ chân nó nè sợi nó cái nhớ rong thế bao.
Yes, we're all good. How about you guys?
So, okay. I know that you're very busy girls, busy mom. But and thank you for coming to our show. It's lovely having you here.
Thank you so much for having me. I feel very honored and humbled to be here. Thank you.
Thank you. I guess just before we started, can you share a little bit about yourself? So I'm sure that a lot of the people in Australia know you well, but some other people in other countries probably don't know you well. So if you don't mind, share a little bit about who is our lovely girl, who is Akira, what does she do?
Okay. So I've been in my full-time job is I'm an academic advisor at James Cook University. I've recently just stopped working because of coronavirus. So now I'm at home with my two boys. I have two boys. The eldest is Ronan, and he's 20 now, and he's autistic and schizophrenic. So it's dealing with a lot of special needs. And the youngest one is Hayden, and he is 18, and he's like normal. But I started photography about 6 years ago, and from then it's just been, just a lot of hard work trying to get where I am right now.
Gee, you are a very young mom. You got to put
yes.
sonority. Right. So I guess how do you become interested in photography? Can you share a little bit about that?
I think I've always been interested in the arts, and I just fell into photography a few years ago. I think my journey first started in about 2013, 2014. And so it's, I think I took some photos and went, I think I'm pretty good at this, and then decided to follow it. But it's been a lot. It's been quite scary. It's been a very scary journey.
I have seen your work, and I think they will look beautiful. I think all the shot that it's just amazing shot that you took. So so how long so how many years that you have been like photography?
So I'd probably say only about 4 years. Working on my photography. I did a course at TAFE, and so I started with a diploma of digital imaging, and then I went on to do a diploma of creative arts, which kind of helped me look more into the business side of it and more into the creative part of being an artist. And then after that, I basically started working as a professional photographer. Yeah, so not really that long.
A very dedicated one too. So, I was told that last year that you were involved with like a group of young Hmong in Queensland, in far north Queensland, and you did a project with them, right? Can you share with us a little bit about that project? I heard that that's a lot of fun, that and a lot of time involved.
It was so much fun, and it was a volunteer job. So I had this idea to do something for the Hmong community, and I put together the shoot plan and also a proposal to the Cairns Youth Society, and this was about maybe 2.5 years ago. And so I got together two makeup artists. One is Melinda in Innisfail, and one is Tana Hyong, and she's in Brisbane. Well, she's in Melbourne now, but at the time she was in Brisbane.
Oh, really?
And yes. So you guys get my favorite makeup artist.
Right. Okay. We'll check on her.
She is incredible. She's absolutely amazing. And so with the help of the Hmong Society, we did a model call. And so we got two teams together. We got one in Cairns and one in Brisbane. And a lot of people were involved. A lot of people used, their own time, their own travel. Just the amount of support that we got was amazing. And then after that, putting it all together and then getting it printed. So it did take about 2 years for it to kind of come together. But I was so happy that, we released the calendars late last year, and it was for 2020.
Right. I heard that it was sold out.
Yeah.
Because some of those image was just look lovely, so lovely, and I think the order came. They put the order through even before it was printed. That was really good. So what do you? I heard that you not only do like photography, but you're also writing book. You're also into that as well, right? Right. Can you share with us a little bit about, what style of writing are you doing? Like what sort of like a novel that you're writing, or what sort of?
Okay. Well, my I guess the place to start is with my creative process and with my gender as an artist. Is that I look at promoting, like Western Asians. So specifically, my first point is promoting Hmong Australians as a people, so that we're not just known as, the people in Gran Torino, that, we, that we...
Can I just say something? You know what? That bring me, like, I was interviewing, I think some girls, and they said, and she was telling me, she said, Auntie, when they ask me, who's Hmong, and then I refer them to that movie, and they said, oh yes, we know. Oh, sorry.
Yes, I know, and that's it. And it's such a shame that that's the only point of reference that us as Hmong people that we can refer to, because otherwise they're like, Mongolia. And it's like, no, we're not from Mongolia. So, as an artist, that's my, viewpoint of putting forward Western Asian viewpoints. And so a lot of my photos are like that. So I photograph a lot of Asians and also minority groups. So also promoting special needs as well. And so my novel is basically... so I'm working on a short novella at the moment, and it's more kind of like a stream of conscious kind of narrative kind of short story about love and all that sort of stuff. So, and I've been working on it for about 11 years, and I've finally got to the point where I'm happy. Yes. So it's been in my head for that long. And then,
so when can we have when can we expect to see this novel published and read it actually?
I'm hoping that it would be. I'm hoping to finish it by the end of this year and looking at publishing it in some way. So that's one of my goals. I also have so I've also got a novel that I've been working on as well, and that's been in progress for about 6 years now, and that's still got a long way to go. But that has I took my influences in writing this novel was based on Asian society back in the 80s, when we were
my generation.
and and I wanted to write about I'm always, when I write things and when I produce art, I'm also very careful about how I portray my people and
That's good.
Asian as well, because you can create things, but you have to also be. I feel you have to be responsible in the sort of images that you portray out there, and to make sure that it's positive. And if it's negative, then it needs to be presented in a way that it's teaching people.
That's true.
About it.
Yeah.
So, but this novel is my style of writing is very violent. So there's a lot of violence. There's sex. There's swearing. There's talking about taboo topics about women's sexuality, women's bodies, and about gender roles, and also the displacement of your old culture in comparison to what's happening with your new generation, and where you fit in your new culture.
So where do you get your inspiration from?
I'm a very my background is I love reading fantasy novels. I grew up reading fantasy novels like Dungeons and Dragons, and I also mix that with a lot of Stephen King and Dean R. Koontz and horror novels as well.
All right.
But then I also draw a lot on my experiences as a first generation Hmong, like a first generation Australian Hmong woman growing up, and having to try and juggle the gender differences.
Can you share with us, because this is really interesting, right? Can you share with us, right? What is it like? Like, because you are the first generation, right? Probably first Hmong generation in Australia. Can you share with us a little bit about what are the challenges that are like growing up as a minority?
Yeah, well, I mean, first of all was learning to accept your culture. That was very hard because I grew up in New South Wales in the western suburbs, so like you've got the Vietnamese, you've got the Thais, you've got the Chinese, the Japanese, and you have these people who come from, like, they have a country they can refer to, whereas for us, we're a minority. And even trying to accept the fact that even though you're Asian, you're not accepted in those Asians. So that was that was a new learning curve for me. So when I grew up and I moved away from the community, coming back was, my way back in was through my art, so which I'm really grateful for, that everyone just accepted it. And it helped me kind of redefine the modern Hmong image that, I want to help promote. And especially of strong Hmong women as well. That's one of my agendas. It was hard growing up because of the pressure of, when you reach 16 to 18, that you were supposed to just get married.
That's a typical Hmong, is it Hmong?
Yes, that's right. That's right. Yeah, and I didn't want that for me. I wanted, to go to university. I wanted to do something. I wanted to travel, and also at that time at 16, I became vegetarian as well, and also started practicing yoga. And that was quite different.
So you were not a typical Hmong girl at all, vegetarian back then, okay?
Yeah, that's right. And nobody, nobody understood it. Nobody understood why you would want to be a vegetarian, because only Buddhist monks were vegetarians. Why as a young woman, why do you want to continue to study when you should be getting married and just have a job and have kids? And so that was one of my challenges. But what I find now is that all the the women who are my age, our first generation women, have grown up and we've had children, and we've paved the way in raising our sons and our daughters
different way, a different way.
That's right. Yeah, a different way, but still keeping the, your values. You still have your family values, but you like, for example, my boys do the dishes and they do the housework.
Where's the inspiration? Right? Your brother, they didn't do the dishes.
No, that's right. That's right. So there were like tiny little changes that we did, and we brought out our daughters, to be strong, independent women who wanted to pursue careers and spoke their mind. So I'm really proud of the way that our community is moving into, we have these beautiful up-and-coming, intelligent new generation who are doing amazing things, and I can't wait to see what they do.
Yeah, that's really good, isn't it? I mean, I'm sure that, we have come, a long way, 40 years, 45 years. In fact, this year we will be celebrating our 45 years resettlement in Australia. Now, back to your photography. Because you, how do you juggle your time? Like, you do photography, you write book, you still have your full-time job, and running like a family here. How do you manage your time?
I guess I manage it because I have a autistic son, and so raising my kids was you're extremely organized. You plan. A shopping trip was like a massive big plan. You put down 10 steps. You're like, this is what we're going to do, and then you just make sure you have everything organized. So I really feel like managing my time was kind of basically, child rearing techniques, which then I implement into my life. But I also feel that a lot of my passion my passion drives me. And so, all those times where everyone else is, say, for example, sitting down and watching Neighbours or My Kitchen Rules or something like that, I'm not doing that. I'm sitting down, I'm working, I'm editing, I'm learning new editing techniques, I'm writing, come out with new photo shoots, and I'm collaborating with people. So sometimes it feels like I'm working 100% of the time. So if I'm on social media, I'm working. And so I actually find I have to learn how to calm down.
Yeah, because the reason I asked you is that we all have equal time. Each of us, we have 24 hours. Right. Why some people, they can accomplish so much, and where, the other, they just, even a few things they haven't even accomplished during the day. So it's all back to how you manage your time, isn't it? And prioritize your time, I suppose. That was really good, yeah. Because a lot of them, the young woman now, right? You have to try to juggling works, isn't it? And then families, and then not to mention you still have your other extended family to look after as well, isn't it?
Right, that's right, and your friends as well, so your social life and everything else as well. But I kind of feel that if you are with a group, like my friends, say for example, fellow artists. So when I'm collaborating with them, that's me having fun. And so, me on a weekend is going out and doing a photo shoot all day, and then I come back and go, oh, wow, I've just been socializing a weekend. But, everyone else will do that as work.
You are very lucky that, your work is your passion, you love your work. And then you go to work like you're just going to have fun. Yes. Isn't it? That you're very lucky in that way. Right. Now, is there anything else that you want to let other people know about you? Like you said that you are doing some photography, some books. If people want to use your service, and how do they contact you? And do you have like a website that people can contact you?
Currently, I don't have a website. I'm working on that. So all this free time that I have now, I hope to kind of just reorganize all my, my websites and my social media and everything like that. But you can always contact me on Facebook. Just send me a message. and you can ask for my rates, or, you know, if you have a collaboration you want to work on with me, definitely, you know, contact me if you have any questions about photography or editing, Photoshop. You know, send me a message. I'm really happy. You know, I'll be really happy if you reached out to me.
That's super. That's very good. Now, just before we leave, I just want to say thank you. Thank you so much.